If you're moving from California to Seattle, there's a good chance that you have a lot of questions and maybe even a little bit of anxiety mixed in. And that is totally normal. I've actually helped dozens of people move from California, places like the Bay Area, San Diego, LA, and they've made the move, and there's something that happens about 2 to 3 months in that they don't really expect that I want to let you know about. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to drop that later on in this video. But for now, we are going to get to some of the things that you need to know about before you make the move to Seattle from California. So every move comes with its own set of surprises. You probably know that if you've moved before, but I'll tell you, moving from California to Seattle has its own unique set of surprises. And I know this firsthand because I moved from San Diego to Seattle. And even though I'm from Seattle originally, it definitely had its own unique set of surprises that I wasn't really aware of. And these surprises might sound small, but they actually add up over time to be kind of a big deal. So starting with the first one, it's called the Seattle freeze. No, I'm not talking about the weather. Yes, it is colder in Seattle than California, but I'm actually talking about the social dynamics here. And if you're coming here to make friends, you might be in for a rude awakening because people in Seattle just actually need help making friends. And it's not like they're rude. They'll wave, they'll be kind to you on the streets, but it kind of goes like this. If you say, hey, we should go to a Mariners game together, people will say, yeah, that's a great idea, but they'll never really invite you into their social circle. They'll actually be waiting for you to invite them. The best way to make friends in Seattle is for you to be the one that's hospitable and open up your home and be the one that's inviting people into things. And that's going to be a fast track to making friends, because if you're waiting for people to invite you, it's called the Seattle freeze for a reason, and people often put you on ice until you're the invitational one. So that's a little trick for you, is be the invitational one in Seattle. But I will say, while it's hard to break through and make friendships in Seattle, once you do make those friends, you're going to have great friends and they're going to be loyal to you. And there's also a lot of people moving to Seattle from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. And those are the ones that I find that it's actually easier to make friends with, because they don't have those old set of friends that they grew up with here. And they're just like you, looking to make friends as well. My advice, again, is to be the hospitable one if you're coming to Seattle. Otherwise, you might get stuck thrown on ice and become a part of the Seattle freeze. And the last thing you want to do is become a part of that culture where you are actually putting people on ice as well. So be the hospitable one. I know you can do it, and make those friends and dig deep into this city and you'll be okay. Another surprise that you need to be aware of is that the rain is not the problem in this city. You might be thinking it rains a ton in Seattle, and that's what the national media says, but there's actually lots of other areas in the country that get way more rain than Seattle. But really the problem is the gray. It's the overcast skies. It's basically a perpetual overcast gray festivity here in this city. And we're blanketed by clouds quite a bit of the time. Now, there are sun breaks that come in and out, and Seattleites will get excited and they'll come outside and they'll go on the walks when that sun hits, and then it's gone, and then it's overcast again. Now, I will say the summers are phenomenal here, but you can expect that things are going to be gray. And the best way, we're going to talk about some ways to overcome the gray here in a little bit. But if you're thinking this is like the Midwest where you need to have that umbrella out all the time, that is not the case. It's just overcast here. For most of us who live in Seattle, we're okay with the overcast skies for a while, especially through the holiday season. I know for myself, once Christmas is over and the New Year's passes, I am really craving that sunshine. So the best way to get over those overcast blues is just to take a trip to the sun during the winter or early spring. Go to Hawaii, go to California, visit your friends again and family if you have them there. The other thing is that we've done in our family is we actually purchased a sauna. We got an infrared sauna. That thing has been a lifesaver for us. We use it multiple times a week, and that actually helps keep the morale up because it just warms you up inside and it feels so good. So those are some tips to cope with the overcast skies here in Seattle so that you make it through that season where it's a bit dark dark. And now when we sit in the spring, the daylight stays light until about 8 p.m. in the spring. In the summer, it stays light until about 9:30, and you're getting lots of sun in the summer. So just hang in there. It's really those winter months that are tough, but once you get through that, you're going to be all right. So let's talk cost of living. I know you're all thinking about it. Probably think that you can live like a king over here. And let me tell you, the gap is closing. It used to be true. I used to tell my San Francisco friends and my San Diego friends, just come over to Seattle, sell your house in the Bay Area, and you're going to be able to live like royalty here. But that is just not true anymore. Let me be really specific with you and share this example. So check out this home right here in the Bay Area in a neighborhood called Menlo Park. This home is listed at about $2.5 million. It gets you about 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and it's 1,560 square feet. The lot size is roughly 6,000 square feet, and it's a nice house. Don't get me wrong, but this is what $2.5 million will get you in Menlo Park and in a lot of neighborhoods in the San Francisco area. Now let's compare that to a home in West Bellevue in a neighborhood called Surrey Downs. This house right here is also listed at $2.5 million, and it is about 2,600 square feet. It sits on a 9,000 square foot lot, and it's fully remodeled. This is a serious upgrade in both style and finishes, but it's not a mega mansion. So the gap is closing from what it used to be. It used to be able to get more house here even, and it's still a pretty good upgrade. But if you're expecting that mega mansion, that is not what you're going to get here. You're going to get a great house. You're probably going to get a bigger yard and a bigger house, but it's not going to be just a giant upgrade. Unless you're moving way out there in the outskirts, then you can find that mansion. But if you're looking for Bellevue or a comparable neighborhood like we just did, this is what you're going to get. And so I want to be real with you that the gap is closing. It is not what it used to be, but there is still value here, and you are going to get an upgrade. It just may not be a serious upgrade. And by the way, bidding wars are still happening, very much so in neighborhoods like I showed you in Surrey Downs and West Bellevue, especially close to the tech hubs where there's walkability and where you can have that convenience in the good schools and the life that you're looking for. That's going to be often a recipe for bidding wars. All right, do you remember that moment I told you at the start of this video? It usually takes place after my clients land here about 2 or 3 months in, and they start to tell me, Matthew, we didn't know that it would be this hard. The weather, the overcast skies, making friends, and the excitement begins to wear off about 2 to 3 months in, and the adventure kind of starts to wane. In real life, starts to take hold, and they're wondering where their friends are. They're wondering why it's not sunny every day, and it becomes rough. My advice to you when you're in that situation is to plan for it, to know that it is going to be a bit of a roller coaster, but you will settle in, especially if you have a good plan to get to the sun and visit the sunshine. And if you are the hospitable ones, you're going to be okay. You're going to make friends. You're going to get through the tunnel of darkness. The light will return. And I think it's actually probably about months 12 or 13, after a little bit of a year, you start to settle in and you start to realize this is a pretty good life. And we're surrounded by beauty here, and we got some friends, and we got our places that we can go visit. And you really start to say, this is a great thing that we did of moving here to this region. So that's what I see most of my clients tell me, at least, is that 2 to 3 months in, they're feeling a little of that suffocation feeling, but after about a year or so, they're actually glad that they moved to this region, and they're just thankful to be a part of it. Now, I want to also say that Californians, when I was real small, they used to get a bad rap when they moved to Seattle, and the locals here would be like, what's going on with all these Californians moving to our city? That's really not the case anymore. I want to say, bring your culture and your style with you, because really Seattle, the culture here, especially the fashion, people are just wearing forest green and black. There's no vibrancy, there's no colors. And what I like about you Californians is that you got a little bit of fashion and you got some great culture and you're a little bit more laid back. And we need that here in the city. So bring that with you. Get out your wardrobe, be fashionable here, enjoy life here, bring your laid back personality, and that's actually going to help our city of Seattle become an even better place. Now, you should also know that Seattle drivers here are almost too nice. I know you might think that those Californian drivers like yourself are a little bit too aggressive, and sometimes that might be true, but the Seattle drivers here are known to be almost too polite, and sometimes that can cause accidents. If you're sitting at an intersection, it's like, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Well, no, there's an order to things, right? So you can bring that order as a Californian driver, and you can be a little aggressive on the freeway. Just, I would ask personally that you would use your blinker, and then we're good to go. But, bring a little bit of that California edge with you, and don't just settle in to the Seattle extra, almost too kind, too polite, especially on the road when you're driving. Thank you. Now let's talk a little bit about why you're moving here. I'm guessing it's not just for the job. I'm guessing it's actually for the lifestyle. Like, you're moving here because you want the whole package. Yes, it comes with a great job, but you're looking at the lakes, the mountains, the rivers, the hiking trails, the paddleboarding, whatever it is for you, that you need to recognize that, and you need to try to move close to that. So if you like hiking, there's great areas for you. If you like boating, if you like being next to the rivers, if you want parks, just talk to me and I can actually help you find that spot, that neighborhood where you might actually get all of those. So my advice to you when you move from California to Seattle is to live close to the lifestyle that fits what you want. A couple more tips for you is don't be afraid of Seattle itself. It's actually a great city. And I think a lot of people, when they're relocating right now, they're thinking of the suburbs, but don't sleep on Seattle itself. It actually has some great neighborhoods that feel very suburban, and they're actually a little bit more affordable than the east side. And if you're new to my channel, the east side is really on the east side of Lake Washington. There's a bridge that separates the east side, the suburbs, and the Seattle proper. The east side tends to be a little bit more expensive, but Seattle, the city, you're going to get that walkability. You're going to get a little bit more variety in the architecture of homes. Kind of those quintessential Seattle homes are going to be found in the city itself. And there's some great neighborhoods, again, that just feel very suburban and they're walkable in the city of Seattle. So you could, drop a comment below if you want to know what those neighborhoods are, or you can watch my hidden gem Seattle proper video, which you'll find on my channel as well. So wrapping up, Seattle is not California. It's a little bit greener, it's grayer. We get that sprinkle of rain. There can be a little bit more darkness here, but if you settle in and if you have a plan, you're going to be okay. And I actually think you're really going to thrive in this city. I am a native to this area. I love this region. I am so proud of our city, and I just love inviting people into it and showing them different neighborhoods and what their opportunities are. So if you need a driving tour and you want to go explore this city, just message me, let me know. I'd be glad to help you out. I'm Matthew Chapman. I'm a top realtor here in this region, and thank you for watching this video. If you could subscribe, that would mean a bunch. And if you can comment below, share it with a friend, and I will see you next time.